Cory Ballad here. Hello, everybody. So, um, now I'm trying out some different things. Last time I talked about Chris Brown's documentary. So, today I'm talking about Unsung Hollywood Jeffersons, which kind of ties into what I've been doing on my channel. I have a podcast. It's on my channel. It don't make sense with some other people, and so it's kind of tying into that. So I'm gonna keep going with it. And I also did a Cory Speaks. I think that's what I call it. I can't remember. It was a long time ago where I talked about Unsung, and that was really just the start of me like doing the stuff by myself. So yeah. I'm passing gas. Okay, so so like I said, this episode was about the Jeffersons and Unsung Hollywood, or Unsung, all of them. They're well, let's just talk about Unsung Hollywood. They're pretty much the same format on every episode. They're basically just telling you how this show or this movie or this person, the actor, made history, or did something important for African Americans. And this episode is no different. This one talked about the Jeffersons. If you people are a little younger, you might not know. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to any younger people than me in a while to see what they know about certain things. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that they should know about the Jeffersons. It's one of the most important shows if you're an African American. And they basically just talked about what an impact it made, how it's one of the first African American shows in the 70s. You know, by that time there wasn't that many African American shows throughout the 60s and stuff. I think on another episode when they were talking about it was a Red Fox episode. So they were talking about Sanford and Son, and Sanford and Son was the first African American sitcom since Amos and Andy, which was out in the 50s. So just to give some perspective on it, there wasn't any African American shows in the 60s and stuff like that. So in the 70s it was this whole wave of African American shows, and Norman Lear was one of the pioneers of that. He made all those shows, the Jeffersons and Good Times, and I think he had something to do with Sanford and Son, but I think Buddy Orkin made that, which I think he was his partner or something. Like they did all those shows together. I think it's a show I'm missing too. Oh, Different Strokes and stuff, like all that stuff, all those shows like that. So by that time when the Jeffersons had came out, it was Sanford and Son, it was the Good Times, and the Jeffersons was different because it was the first show to show African Americans that were wealthy, and because Good Times, they were in the Chicago projects, and Sanford and Son, he was in LA, and he was a junk dealer, and so they were all poor, and the Jeffersons were rich. So it was important for that. And once again, I'm just talking off my head, so I'm trying to remember stuff, what happened, and basically just summarize it and put my opinion on it at the end. What was I saying? So yeah, so the Jeffersons was different in that aspect. They talked about the theme song, how it was very notable, and that's true. Everybody probably knows the Good Time. I mean, not the Good Time, but the Good Times too. They probably know the Jeffersons theme song. Some things I didn't know about when I watched this Unsung episode was that Walona from Good Times, well, I knew she had sung the song and wrote it and stuff like that. I knew she sung it, but I didn't know her name was Well, I always thought her name was Janet Du Bois, I guess. But they said her name was Shanae Dubois, I think. So I guess she was French. I didn't know that. That was interesting. Something else I didn't know was Louise, who is in real life, her real life name is Isabel Sanford. She played Weezy on the Jeffersons. She was the first African American woman to win an Emmy for a television show and a comedy. I didn't know that. She won in 1981. I did know this, that Marla Gibbs, who was Florence the maid, was working as a reservations person or at an airline until like 3 years into the Jeffersons before she quit. They said that. I watched, I think I was watching Oprah, like she has a show on her network where she finds people who used to be on television or popular in music and stuff like that, and shows where they're at now because they, haven't been in the spotlight. So she had Marla Gibbs on there, and they said that on there that she was working at a airline many years into the Jeffersons. So it wasn't until that the woman who played George's mother passed away, and they made a bigger role for Florence when she moved in the house with them, that she decided, that they helped her. They talked her into quitting the airline so she could do it full time. That was funny. What else? I didn't know Mike Evans, who played what's the son's name? Lionel was the first person, because the Jeffersons, you might not know if you're younger, that the Jeffersons were a spinoff of All in the Family, right? So I didn't know that Lionel was the first person who was on All in the Family. I always thought it was Weezy who was the first person on All in the Family, but it was Lionel, and his name was Mike Evans. He was the first Lionel, and then he left. I knew he left, but I didn't know that he left because he created Good Times. Well, he helped create Good Times, because I was watching Unsung Hollywood Cooley High, and the dude who wrote that, I forget his name. He wrote Cooley High. He helped create Good Times. And he said he had helped create. He said he had brought all these ideas to Norman Lear, like the Jeffersons and all that stuff. So I didn't know that. That was one thing. He helped create Good Times. And then it was one more thing that I didn't know about. Something about George. Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna move on. I don't want to be paused all this time. Okay, so yeah, so it was a good episode. All the episodes are good. I love that show. It's one of my favorite shows on television. Unsung, I watch all the episodes, the music episodes. Then they started making the Hollywood episodes. I'm gonna try to do some more reviews. I did one already about DeBarge. It was up there. It's up on my YouTube channel. And also, I talked a little bit about the influence of the Jeffersons on my podcast. I think it was episode 3 or 4. Just go back and watch all of them just to be sure. Where we were talking about that list of the top African American shows in history, and the Jeffersons was on there. I think that they were in the lower parts of it, and I was kind of confused. I thought they should have been higher because of how important they were, I felt like. And I think they're the longest running African American show in history. I think House of Pain now by Tyler Perry might have came and had more episodes, but the Jeffersons were the longest running show for all that time. Yeah, and it was really important. They talked about its influence on rappers and stuff like that, and That's true because, they were one of the first places where people saw African Americans that weren't poor, even for white people. They were seeing Good Times. They were seeing Sanford and Son. And that's what they thought. But then the Jeffersons came. They got a chance to see the African Americans were doing other things, and the same thing for black people who were impoverished. They were able to see African Americans, and it helped them out and allowed them to believe that they could do things. Like the rappers who grew up during that time and saw the Jeffersons on television. I forgot what I was going to say about George. But yeah, like I said, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have 4,000 subscribers. But I really haven't been, like I said, putting up videos where I'm doing stuff. I start off doing the mixtapes and stuff. So this is my first soiree into sitting here talking and reviewing stuff. So sorry if I'm rambling or I'm cutting off and on. Like I said, I'm just going off my brain. I didn't write anything down. And yeah, I'll be back. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram, Cory Ballad. Bye.